Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Arab Affairs on RTV International. And in this segment, dear viewers, we have with us a very special guest. We have with us a former ambassador, Ayman Mousharafa, who is a former assistant to the Foreign Ministry. A very good day, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And of course, on top of all, Happy New Year.
Thanks very much. Happy New Year to my viewer and to you. And thanks.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, thanks very much for having me, and Happy New Year.
It's our utmost pleasure, sir, because we need your informative knowledge, sir. Of course, on top of all, and the highlight of today's episode, or the highlight of today and yesterday, and of course, since the 7th of October, there are atrocities, genocides, annexations, condemnation to everything that Israel is taking towards the Palestinians and the people in Gaza and the West Bank. What's your perspective, and how is this going to end as soon as possible in light of the condemnations that are taking place, of course, from the entire world and the Arab world on special notes, sir?
Yes, actually, as you said, that we are having nearly 3 months of continuous conflict and around 23,000 killed and around 50,000 injured. That means 3% of the Gaza population. And you have more than nearly 2 million internally displaced inside Gaza. And most of the United Nations agencies are crying for help because they are saying that there is a famine looming around. And of course, the situation, humanitarian situation, it's worsening day by day since you have a power outage and most of the hospitals are out of business. Nevertheless, you had the Security Council resolution, several United Nations resolutions of specialized agency, but the Israeli government, which I consider them one of the most leftist, rightist government ever governed Israel, is not listening to the international community and not stopping the war. And still there is systematic bombing and losing of life. And that's a real pity. I do not see how the international community is not moving for forceful act against it, because it will continue like that, no end in sight. And the suffering is continuing day by day, hour by hour.
Ambassador Ayman, of course, you have an idea that an Egyptian-Jordanian summit was held at Al Ittihadiyya Palace between President Fattah al-Sisi and the Jordanian King Abdullah II. The meeting, of course, was discussing and tackling region developments, on top of all, especially the situation in Gaza and the critical human case the Strip suffers from. And sir, this is our main issue now, the suffering of the people of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and what's happening over there. People without water, pregnant women that can't even drink water. The situation has become unbearable, and how do you see the Egyptian-Jordanian summit from your own perspective, and of course the ongoings that are taking place in the Gaza Strip?
Actually, from the outset of the crisis, the Egyptian diplomacy and the Jordanian diplomacy have been very active. And I want to point out that it's not the first summit. I think it's the second summit since the crisis between the president and King Abdullah. I mean, both of us are really worried about the situation, even on the West Bank. There is a continued aggression and incursion from the Israeli army from the beginning of the crisis, and around 350 Palestinians lost their lives. So it's not only in Gaza, it's in Gaza and the West Bank, and the continued treatment of some Israeli far-right politicians which they are saying that the Palestinians should be transferred out of the land, the homeland, and the President Sisi and Abdullah emphasized on each occasion that we are refusing totally and categorically any forced movement from the Palestinians from the land, because as simple as it is a determination of the Palestinian people, which we are against it, and the Egyptian and the Jordanian diplomacy have made many calls of the national conference to implement the 338 and 242 resolution based on the two-state solution. That's the only viable solution for ending the Israeli-Palestinian crisis and the crisis looming in the horizon.
Sir, President Fattah al-Sisi and of course Jordanian King Abdullah II called on the international community to shoulder its political and moral responsibilities in order to implement resolutions issued by the United Nations Security Council and General Assembly. Sir, when are the international community going to move on to understand that what's happening is beyond normal and it has never ever happened, and move and take actions that should stop the Israeli side from the genocides that they are taking place and atrocities that they are doing to the Palestinian people?
Actually, we didn't spare any efforts from the beginning. The Egyptian and Jordanian diplomacy, we went to multilateral and bilateral diplomacy, and we went to many international institutions like the Security Council, like the Assembly, like the Union, like the Arab League, and we went to pass many resolutions, condemn the Israeli behavior, and even lately South Africa has passed a case against Israel in the International Court of Justice based on a collective genocide. I mean, the international community is moving, but we need, resolution with more teeth. Every resolution that being issued, it is not binding. It doesn't have any effect on the Israelis and do not force them to stop the aggression. And even the Prime Minister of Israel said explicitly that the war will continue till we will achieve our target. What target? Destroying and killing the whole Palestinian people. I mean, the situation is becoming unbearable, and really, the international community is being moving more forcibly to enforce all the resolutions which have been passed by the United Nations, which is a parliament of the world.
Sir, the Arab League on Thursday held a special session for the Arab Parliament, which was entitled In Support of Palestine and Gaza. How do you read, sir, this very important session? Of course, we understand that there was condemnation, but still no action. How do you read, and your motto, sir?
Well, from the first day that issued condemnation and the Arab, and at the parliament words from the ocean to the Gulf, and but actually they are telling the thought of having, as I said, binding decision which would force Israel to come to justice and just to have a conditional ceasefire to save of the Palestinians.
Sir, you said ceasefire. Ceasefire immediately and send a quick humanitarian aid to Gaza as soon as possible are the two most important requests by the entire world. Of course, on top of all is Egypt and Jordan, the Arab countries that stood next to the Palestinian cause since the start of the 7th of October till today. Sadly enough, the Palestinian people will start a new year with all these atrocities and all these genocides taking place, sir, I just want an answer to the ceasefire immediately and the sending of quick humanitarian aid to Gaza, which is an issue, which is not supposed to be an issue under any condition ever.
Yes, I do agree that Egypt, from the outset of the crisis, we have asked for unconditional ceasefire and opening humanitarian corridor, and people to submit all ports and all airports and all administration to have the international aid, the Egyptian aid, to flow inside the, and we didn't spare any effort. And we are in continuous contact with all donors, with all humanitarian and international organizations to help to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinians.
Sir, finally, a strong word that we can send from here, Egypt and the Nile TV International, to the Israeli side to stop what they're doing. One word, please.
Yes, please help Gaza, save Gaza before it is too late.
Okay. Sir, wishing, of course, the Palestinian state and the people in Gaza and the West Bank very happy New Year. Hope it doesn't continue 2024 and it ends with a miracle as soon as possible what's going on. We thank you so much, Ambassador Ayman Mousharafa, former Assistant to Foreign Minister. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for your informative knowledge, and we had the ultimate pleasure wishing you a happy New Year, sir.